Welcome to the deep dive. We take a stack of sources, pull out the key insights, and, well, basically get you informed fast. Today, we're looking at something pretty significant right here in our community. The idea of merging the district of Saanich and the city of Victoria. It's a long-standing question. And our sources are quite interesting for this one. We've got insights from a citizens' assembly that's 48 local residents who actually came out recommending this amalgamation. Joining us is an expert who's really been central to this conversation. You bring a unique viewpoint, professional engineer, public economist.
That's right. It's a complex issue with deep roots.
Absolutely. And this isn't just some local council news, is it? It's really a lens on how cities tackle big challenges. And it affects you, the listener, by showing how these sort of high-level governance choices filter down into everyday life.
Precisely. It touches everything.
So let's dive right in then. The sources really hammer home that there's a reason this is being discussed now. What is the fundamental problem that amalgamation is supposedly trying to fix? Beyond, just inconvenience.
Yeah, that's the crucial question. I mean, looking at the data, the analysis, it points towards the current setup, this fragmented governance, being, well, frankly, in crisis.
In crisis, that's strong language.
It is, but
Right.
I think the evidence supports it. It's not just about occasional mistakes. It's a structural issue. It creates these predictable and often really costly failures.
Okay, like what? Can you give some concrete examples from the sources?
Sure. Think about the Operations Center land deal. An $8 million overpayment. That's not small change.
Wow, $8 million.
Exactly. Or consider housing. There's a case of a single rental housing project facing almost a 4-year permit delay.
4 years.
4 years. And this is with a vacancy rate hovering around, what, 1.5%? It's incredibly tight.
Right.
These aren't just, isolated screw-ups. The sources suggest they're the predictable outcome when you have two separate systems trying to manage what's effectively one single interconnected urban area.
Yeah, those examples definitely paint a stark picture. I think a lot of us, listening can probably relate to that kind of frustration with big systems that just don't seem to work together efficiently. Makes the abstract idea feel quite real.
It does.
So, okay, if that fragmentation is the core problem, how is amalgamation supposed to be the answer? In theory, at least.
Well, the core idea, the goal, is to create a single, coherent plan for the whole region, a unified city structure.
Okay, and practically what does that mean?
Practically, it means things like one planning department, just one set of rules. This is often presented as, really, the most effective way to fix our, frankly, broken permit system.
Streamlining.
Streamlining, exactly. It also means one engineering department that can look at infrastructure, roads, pipes, everything as one integrated system.
Which could help with regional issues like traffic.
That's the hope, to finally tackle those regional traffic snarls that don't respect municipal boundaries. And maybe most importantly, it means one council, one elected body with a clear shared mandate to solve these common problems.
Right. Instead of two potentially pointing fingers.
Precisely. The aim is to replace a system that can sometimes feel like it's defined by inefficiency and blame shifting,
Yeah.
with one based on coordination and, crucially, accountability.
That lays out a pretty clear vision for how it could work. Makes you think, doesn't it? For you listening, what stands out there as the biggest potential upside of that kind of unified approach? But naturally, change this big brings up fears. And the sources were really direct about this. One Saanich resident put it bluntly, "We are not your ATM."
Yes.
There's this palpable fear, it seems, that Saanich residents will end up footing the bill for Victoria's issues. How do you tackle that head on? It feels like a major hurdle.
It absolutely is. And that ATM fear, it's completely valid. It's probably the #1 risk we have to address.
Okay.
So let me be unequivocal. I would never, ever support a bailout scenario. Just wouldn't happen.
Right.
And that's exactly why my support for any amalgamation is strictly conditional. The first condition, a full, independent financial audit of both municipalities. Completely independent. And critically, the results must be made public at least 6 months before any potential vote.
6 months. Okay, time to digest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about getting an honest, data-driven look at the books. We need to know the true financial state of both sides to ensure any merger is structured as a genuinely fair and equitable partnership. No surprises.
That kind of transparency driven by data, it seems absolutely vital for you listening to feel any sort of confidence in such a huge decision.
Couldn't agree more. It's foundational.
Okay, so that's the financial side. But the sources also raise another big concern, loss of local identity. loss of representation.
Yeah.
I mean, a single larger council inevitably means fewer elected officials per person. And there's the worry that Saanich's unique character, more suburban, some rural areas might get lost, overshadowed by downtown Victoria's priorities.
And that is, without doubt, the second critical risk we have to manage carefully.
So how do you address that one?
This leads to the second non-negotiable condition for my support, what we're calling a made-for-Saanich governance model.
Made for Saanich. What does that entail?
It means that before any vote happens, there must be a detailed public proposal for a hybrid ward system.
A hybrid ward system. Explain that a bit.
Sure. It means the new council wouldn't be only elected at large, where everyone votes for all councillors. Instead, it would combine some at-large councillors who look at the big picture with councillors elected from specific geographic areas or wards.
Ah, okay. So local representation.
Exactly. The core requirement here is guaranteeing that every distinct Saanich neighborhood, from the rural areas to the suburban centers to the village hubs, has its own dedicated local representative on that new council.
So someone specifically accountable to that local area.
Precisely. This condition is designed quite specifically to make sure the voices of all those diverse communities within Saanich aren't just protected, but actually empowered within a potentially larger city structure. It's about preserving that vital local connection people value.
That's a really interesting structure, trying to balance that big picture governance with ensuring, your specific neighborhood still feels heard. It makes you think, doesn't it, about what effective representation means as urban areas grow and change.
It's a key challenge for many growing regions.
So putting this together, it sounds like you're not just advocating for any amalgamation. It's a very specific, carefully designed version you'd support. You called it a smart, strategic merger.
That's exactly right. It has to be smart and strategic. It needs to be built on really a foundation of solid safeguards. Otherwise, the risks are just too high.
Okay, so let's recap those safeguards. You've mentioned two big ones.
Right. The full independent financial audit, that's number one, for fairness. Number two is the hybrid ward system, the made-for-Saanich model, to protect local representation.
Okay. And you said there were 5 total?
5 non-negotiable conditions, yes. The other 3 are just as important. Number 3, a publicly tracked implementation plan.
What does that mean exactly?
It means a clear plan, published up front, showing how services will be integrated and improved with measurable milestones. So you, the public, can actually track progress and hold the new entity accountable for delivering better services, not worse ones.
Got it. Accountability through tracking. What's number 4?
Number 4 is a legally binding infrastructure first bylaw.
Infrastructure first.
Yes. This would legally require that new development, new growth, is only approved if the necessary supporting infrastructure, roads, water, sewer, transit, schools, parks is already in place, or its funding and construction are guaranteed.
So growth pays for growth, essentially, preventing strain on existing services.
That's the core principle. To stop our communities from being overwhelmed by growth that outpaces the services needed to support it.
Okay, that sounds significant. And the 5th condition?
The 5th is about the vote itself. It must be a fair double majority referendum.
Double majority?
Meaning, for the amalgamation to pass, it needs a majority yes vote within the city of Victoria and a separate majority yes vote within the district of Saanich. Both communities have to agree independently.
Ah, so one community can't force it on the other.
Precisely. Gives each community an equal and decisive say in their own future and their shared future.
So those 5 together, audit, wards, tracking plan, infrastructure bylaw, double majority, that's the full package.
That is the complete set of minimum safeguards. Without every single one of those conditions met, transparently and upfront, then, frankly, the potential downsides, the risks we talked about, are just too great to recommend moving forward with amalgamation.
Wow. That is an incredible amount of specific, detailed thinking. You've really unpacked a lot for us, moving beyond just the simple yes or no on amalgamation.
Well, the details matter immensely in something this complex.
They certainly do. And, as we wrap up this deep dive, here's something maybe for you, the listener, to consider. Could this demand for such specific, detailed preconditions be a kind of model? A model for how any community tackles really big, complex changes? It suggests that major shifts maybe shouldn't just be, pushed through, but instead carefully built on a foundation of fairness, foresight, and these kinds of publicly debated safeguards.
Ensuring the how is as important as the what.
Exactly. This deep dive into the Saanich and Victoria question really underscores that the devil isn't just in the details. The pathway to success might actually lie in addressing those details directly, openly, and, well, very thoroughly. For anyone listening who wants to dig deeper into the full analysis, the data, and those 5 conditions we just walked through, you can find more information at med4saanich.com.
That's med4saanich.com.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.